Hello and welcome to DIC TV, the Post-Secondary Counseling Series. Today we're going to be talking about college stress busters, which is a really important topic for students who are interested in going to school once they graduate high school. My name is Sherri Scott. I'm the Transition Coordinator for Divine Intervention Center, and I will walk you through this brief presentation. It's very important for you to understand that there are some major differences between what you've grown accustomed to from grades K through 12 and what you're going to be experiencing once you graduate. You take on a great deal more of personal responsibility and responsibility for your success. Well, here at Divine Intervention Center, we believe that every student has a purpose, they have gifts, and they have God-given talents. That's why we're coming to you with all of this helpful information to help you to transition successfully to whatever your next is. And if it's school for you, make sure you stick around. Go on to the next page. It says here that all of us know that there's some major differences between high school and college. Well, in this presentation, we're going to talk about some of those differences, and we're going to talk about ways for you to deal with them because those differences can cause you stress. And it says here, if you're not careful, the experience can be overwhelming and again introduce you to some unexpected stress. And if you don't know how to deal with it, it can put you in some very negative mental spaces. And we don't want that for you. Go on to the next page and we'll start with our very first difference and the stress buster tip for it. Number one, if you are with Divine Intervention Center participating in our program, that means that you have an IEP, that you are currently a student with a disability, and you have a particular plan for your individual diagnosis. Your teachers know, your students know because other students know because you're all in the same class together. However, when you go to college, there is a different experience. You must identify as a student with a disability or an IEP. The colleges and teachers won't do that for you. They won't know, and you won't get any additional help because, again, they don't know. So the rules are very different. So that can cause you some stress. You could be in a classroom needing additional help and not getting it because they don't know you have a disability and you haven't told anyone. There is a particular department that is responsible for helping you with this type of information. So the first thing you would do as far as this stress buster is concerned to wave out a little bit of that stress, register with the Office of Disability Services. Do this before school starts and do it each semester so that your private help is available to you from day one. You start in the classrooms armed with accommodations and modifications that can help you be successful in the classroom. Go to the next page. Difference and stress buster number two. As you are in high school right now, there are tests and things that you take, of course. A lot of material, the teachers may go over it with you in the classroom over and over again. You may have regular tests, but in college, tests are going to happen less frequently. Sometimes in some classes, you may only have 2 tests for the entire semester. And because they happen less frequently, they cover more material, which can make it very stressful for you. So what we recommend as far as the stress buster tip is to establish a study routine. You know the saying, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's what this means. If you study on a regular basis, then when you are confronted with a test, you're a great deal more confident. The reason we recommend it is because it avoids frenzy. It avoids the anxiety of last-minute cramming or preparation for a test. It also creates structure if you have a study routine because you can better organize your day when you have a plan. And it also keeps your body healthy. Routine helps you to sleep better and manage stress. So for all of those, or for those only a couple of tests with a great deal more information for you to remember, Also, always set up a study routine. Go on to the next page. Difference in stress buster number 3. Instructors do not remind you of assignments and test dates. So forgetting that information, especially for those of you who may be challenged by attention deficit disorder, forgetting those types of dates can lead to bad grades or poor grades. And it's not that you are incapable of doing the work, it's just that you may have a hard time remembering it or keeping up with it. So in order not to have that problem or the stress that comes from having that problem, here are a couple of suggestions. Grab a wall calendar, and when the instructor gives you test dates in the beginning of the semester, write them all down on your calendar. You can also program that information into your phone or your Google Calendar. Being organized helps you not to miss out on important date or due dates or deadlines that are given to you by your teacher in your college classroom. So it says to be sure to check them every day. Staying on top of tasks and to-do lists keeps you calm and knowing that you are ready for anything that's coming your way. Next page. Difference in stress buster number 4. When you're in high school, you don't have very many costs. Now, of course, if you're a senior, you are about to encounter some costs because you have to pay for graduation, if there is a senior field trip or a gown, or when we're talking about going to the prom, those things cost. But on an average, you don't have to pay a lot for high school. The difference is in college, everything costs. Your books cost you, supplies cost you, entertainment costs you, personal care costs you, and nothing can stress you out like money or not having money. So a stress buster tip for that is, first of all, complete the FASFA application. That's something that we talked about, or if you haven't heard it yet, you will be hearing about it this week. Complete that FASFA application early. If you are graduating this year, you have until June 30th to complete an application for FASFA for financial aid. If you're also planning to do Tennessee Promise, you have until March 1st. That's an even earlier date to get this done. The time for that, or the application open date for the FAFSA, was October 1st. So some students have already been doing this because it's a month late now. So if you haven't and you're interested in going to school, please make that a priority. It says to complete the FAFSA early to pay for classes and perhaps have money left over for books and supplies. More funds are available when you apply early. You also need to check on scholarships if you're interested in those. That extra money helps you to take care of college costs. You can also register with the financial aid office as someone interested in work study opportunities for extra funds. Again, that is something that when you fill out the application for FAFSA, it's going to ask you if you're interested in work study. I recommend you click yes. And then the third thing is to be open for part-time or weekend work opportunities like babysitting, yard work, fast food. These are ways to keep money in your pocket without sacrificing study time for school. When you're in school, that is your main priority. That's your job. But if you're needing extra money to pay for the cost of college, look at opportunities for you to earn extra money and take away some of that stress. Okay? Now that was number 4. Now we're on number 5. Now 5 has 2 parts. Okay? In high school, you know everyone in your class. Chances are you have gone to school with them, maybe in elementary school or maybe in junior high school, but you know everyone in your class pretty much. In college, you're lucky if you only know of a couple of people, depending. Sometimes if you're going to school, some of you have decided to go to the same place, so you may know each other. But if you're having different classes or different programs, that means that you're not in the same classes. So in college, you're lucky to know at least one, and sometimes feeling lonely or feeling like you're in this by yourself can be stressful. One way to deal with that is to get involved in organizations of personal and professional interests. If you are in a trade school for automotive services because you want to work on cars and you're trying to get trained in that, there are other people, of course, in the same class, but there may also be organizations in that school or that trade school that you're in so that you can meet new people but have the same interests. So you have to get involved. The research says that students who are involved are more than likely to finish their programs. So 5B, and this is the second part of that difference. Learn how to depend on yourself during times of loneliness, making time for personal interest and hobbies. A lot of times we like to feel like we have to be around a lot of people, but that's not necessarily so all of the time. You have to become comfortable in your own company, doing things that you personally enjoy. You can also go to the gym, go for a walk or run, listen to music, read a book. All of these things help you deal with stress, and they help you to reflect, and it helps you to give you a mental balance, a good mental balance, okay? So join organizations to meet new people who have the same interests as you do. That's going to help wave off feelings of loneliness. But also, when you're feeling alone, learn to embrace it and do some positive things with it. You can go on to the next page. Now, the high school and college difference and stress buster tip for number 6 is in high school, you have classes all day. You know that you're going to be there around 7:15 or 7:30, and you're going to be there until about 2:15, 2:30, some schools 3 o'clock. You are there for at least 8 hours. Now, in college, however, that's different. You generally get an opportunity to set your own schedules. Sometimes you're going to be in classes during the day, some of them at night, some of them in the afternoon. So you are creating a schedule that works for you. So the stress buster tip here is schedule classes when you're at your best and most alert. If you have an opportunity to actually plan a schedule, if you know that you are not a morning person, then by all means schedule your first class in the afternoon or in the later part of the morning. If you know that you have a lot going on in the evenings or you have a job to go to, then make sure that you schedule your classes earlier in the day. Their college offers you classes on the weekends as well. So take into account your lifestyle, take into account your personal alert time when classes are best for you. Say, for instance, you're taking medication. If there is a medication that you're taking that makes you sleepy, that's probably not the best time for you to be in a classroom. And since you have a choice, I would suggest that you go ahead and you schedule what's best for you. Next slide. Now, another difference between high school and college and the stress buster that is associated with any stress that comes from that difference. High school attendance is mandatory. If you are not in school, they're going to be contacting your parent. There may be even some legal penalties for students who do not attend school. In college, however, it's not mandatory, but it is strongly recommended because you miss out on information when you do not attend. No one is going to call your parent when you don't come to class. However, if you're getting financial aid, the teachers are required by law to report whether or not you're actually attending school. So let's go over this stress buster tip. It says being responsible for lots of classes can be stressful, so pace yourself. You're not in a race to finish. Work with your advisor, balance course difficulty, and choose the amount of classes you take carefully so that you don't feel overwhelmed. And remember, not going to class affects your grade and your financial aid eligibility. If you're not intending to go to school full-time, that's at least 4 classes, you can go to school part-time. There's nothing wrong, you can still get financial aid if you're taking 1 or 2 classes. The thing to keep in mind, however, is if you're getting a scholarship, Some scholarships may require that you are in school for a full-time schedule. So be very careful and move accordingly, okay? All right. We're almost done. The difference between high school and college and the stress buster associated with the stress coming from it is you've done high school for at least 4 years now. Nothing really new about it. You know the teachers and they know you. You've gone to the same school with the same students and you know all of the rules. Even if you choose not to follow them, you know what they are. You know what it takes to pass your classes and you know that you'll pretty much be there all of the day. However, college is a new, different, and challenging experience. And if you're not careful, it can put you in a negative mind space and make you question your rights, question your ability, and even question your desire to be there, putting an end to you actually reaching the goal that you set for yourself. But there are some ways to deal with that. First of all, you can journal. If you're the type of person who likes to write out your thoughts, make sure that you do that. Sometimes getting it out is a great help to what you're dealing with within. You can learn to meditate. You can take a few minutes to do exercises that will help you with mindfulness, make you alert, get you in touch with your feelings, and give you an opportunity to deal with them in a positive way. And last but not least, you can also counsel. You can talk to a counselor. At schools now, because college can be overwhelming and overstimulating for some, most schools now will have a counselor on campus. You're able to, it doesn't cost you anything. You're able to talk with a counselor about your feelings, and they can really be of some help to help you to maintain a healthy mental and emotional balance. And I'm going to add one that's not on here. Try to have fun. You can't be like all work and no play. You can't be all play and no work either, but there has to be a healthy balance for that. Make sure that you're doing things that you enjoy. Get out with friends, get with family, but also if you're dealing with this on your own, do some journaling, some meditation, or talk to a counselor. That's available to you and it's free. Next slide. The difference and the stress buster number 9. Students are generally assigned a great amount of reading and writing. If reading and writing are not strengths for you, if those are challenging for you, stress is bound to happen. So you need to understand that tutoring does not necessarily fall under disability services, that office that I've mentioned to you, but most colleges will have a tutoring department. So it's available to you, but they're not going to make you use it. You do have to take on that responsibility for yourself and get the help that you need. There are also websites that are there to help you. One is called Grammarly. It can help you with writing assignments. And you can also set appointments with instructors for extra help. You can create and participate in study groups. And all of these things can work in your favor because you're working with other people who can help you and you're doing something to help yourself. Okay? Next page. Number 10, and we are finally at the very last one. Affirm yourself daily. It takes a lot of courage to step out and do something different. It takes a lot of courage to understand that what you want to do in life requires some additional training. Because college is not for everyone. Not everyone even wants to go. But if you do want to go, if you do want to go to a trade school or a two-year college or even a university, if you do want to go, you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe that you are able to do the things that it takes for you to do. So college can be wonderful because, first of all, it puts you on the path to somewhere. It aids you in your personal growth. You feel better when you have reached a goal that you set for yourself. It helps you to meet new people. It increases your knowledge. But all of that can also expose you to stressful situations. So the biggest post-secondary self-care tip or stress buster is to believe in yourself. Believe in your family that supports you. Make sure that you do everything you can. Get all of the help that you can get from the beginning in terms of your transportation in terms of your financial aid, in terms of your disability resources on those campuses, in terms of deciding what it is you want to do and where you need to go to do it. And make the commitment to do so daily. Speak good things about your own abilities and your own right to pursue your hopes and dreams in any way that works for you. Now, as we said earlier, college is not for everyone, but college is for those who want to attempt it, at least for those who feel like this is what I'm going to need to do what I want to do. Whether it's doing hair, whether it's working on a car, whether it's working in childcare, whatever you choose, there is a pathway for you to get the requirements that you need in order to do that job. And you have to also be open to the different ways that it takes for you to do those things successfully. So if you have any further questions, please feel free to discuss them with your teaching specialist, or again, if you are looking at this individually on our website, jot down questions that you may have. Contact us if you're wanting us to get back with you and talk with you a great deal more about it. You do have that option as well. Talk to your teaching specialist in the classroom right now as this is about to end. There are also 2 videos that I am accompanying with this presentation that your teachers are able to share with you. One of them is called Coping with Stress. There's some very good tips for dealing with stress. And then the other is college harder than high school? What do you think? After looking at these presentations, you may have decided that, yes, I believe I want to try going to school, or you may have decided, you know what, I was on the fence about it. I'm not going to go. That's not something that I want to do. I'm going to do something else. Either way, it's fine as long as we get you to where it is that you're trying to go. But ask questions. Feel free to reach out for help. So next page is we want to say thank you so much for listening. We want you to stay healthy, stay strong, and go for your dreams, and do what it takes to set yourself up for success. Again, this is Sherri Scott, Transition Coordinator for Divine Intervention Center. If you're on our website, make sure that you navigate it, play around with it, look at our photo gallery, look at the upcoming events, and just looking at the speakers, and enjoy yourself. Talk to you next time, and have a wonderful day.